Hello friends, in the previous video, we learned about the basics of EC2 and how it can help with any compute needs. The next thing, which we will be learning about in this video, is another major benefit of AWS, scalability and elasticity, or how capacity can grow and shrink depending on business needs. This is the agenda for this video. First, we will be talking about what is scalability, then we will see an AWS service called Amazon EC2 Autoscaling and how it works. Then we will talk about elastic load balancing and how it works. At last, we will have a quiz and also we will see answers to the previous quiz. If you have not watched the previous video, you can watch it by clicking the I button above. So let's start. First, let us talk about what is scalability. For understanding scalability, first let us take an example. Suppose you have an on-premises data center which is responsible for running all the workloads for your business. Now, when your business is running, your workloads may vary over time. You might have times when your business is very busy and also times when your business is not in demand. Now, the question is, what is the right amount of hardware to purchase? If you buy keeping in mind the average amount of usage, you will not be wasting money. But when the peak hours come, you won't have the hardware to provide your services to the customers. Now, if you buy keeping in mind about the maximum load, you might be able to provide services to your customers which will be highly available, but for most of the time, you will have idle resources, which will make your average utilization very low. So how do you solve the problem on premises? The answer is you cannot. What if you could provision your workload to exactly the demand every hour and every day? Now your customers can always get the services they want. So here is where AWS makes it really simple. Scalability involves beginning with only the resources you need and automatically scale in or out depending on the changing demand. As a result, you don't have to worry about lack of computing capacity to meet customer needs, and also you only pay for the resources you use. The AWS service that automatically carries out the scaling process for EC2 instances is Amazon EC2 Autoscaling. Now, let us understand about Amazon EC2 Autoscaling. Amazon EC2 Autoscaling enables you to automatically add or remove Amazon EC2 instances in response to changing application demand. By automatically scaling your instances in and out as needed, you are able to maintain high application availability. With Amazon EC2 Autoscaling, you can use two approaches: dynamic scaling and predictive scaling. Dynamic scaling responds to changing demand, whereas predictive scaling automatically schedules right number of EC2 instances based on predicted demand. Now, let us understand working of Amazon EC2 Autoscaling. By adding Amazon EC2 Autoscaling to an application, you can add new instances to the application when necessary and terminate them when no longer needed. Suppose you have launched an application on Amazon EC2 instances. When you create an autoscaling group for your application, you have to set the minimum number of EC2 instances, which is the minimum capacity. The minimum capacity is the number of EC2 instances that launch immediately after you have created the autoscaling group. You can also set the desired capacity of autoscaling group, which is the desired number of EC2 instances which you want to have in your autoscaling group. If you do not specify the desired number of Amazon EC2 instances in autoscaling group, the desired capacity will default to your minimum capacity. Next, you can set up the maximum capacity of an autoscaling group. The maximum capacity is the maximum number of EC2 instances that an autoscaling group can scale out in response to increased demand. With Amazon EC2 Autoscaling, you only pay for the number of instances you are using and not the instances which are not used. Suppose you have an autoscaling group which has a maximum capacity of 4 EC2 instances. Now your application is running and only 2 instances are being used. So you only have to pay for using that 2 instances and not for all the 4 instances. When your application uses all the 4 instances, you will be charged for all the 4 instances. Now that we have solved the problem of scaling with Amazon EC2 Autoscaling, we have got a new problem. The problem of traffic. Let us understand the problem first. When you have multiple EC2 instances running the same program and serving the same purpose, And when a request comes in, how will that request know which Amazon EC2 instance to go? You need to find a way to route request to the instances in order to process that request. This problem is called load balancing. Now let us look at Elastic Load Balancer, which is an AWS service to solve the problem of load balancing. Elastic Load Balancer, or ELB, is an AWS service that automatically distributes the incoming traffic across multiple resources, such as Amazon EC2 instances. A load balancer acts as a single point of contact for all the incoming web traffic to your autoscaling group. This means that as you add or remove Amazon EC2 instances in response to the amount of incoming traffic, these requests route to the load balancer first, then the request will spread across multiple resources that will handle them. For example, if you have multiple EC2 instances, ELB distributes the workload across multiple instances so that no single instance has to carry bulk of traffic. Now, let us understand how Elastic Load Balancer works. Suppose that a few customers have requested to access your services and only a few instances are running. As there is less traffic, those few instances can handle the demand of customers who need your services. Now with time, as the number of customers increases, more EC2 instances are running to handle the increased demand with the help of autoscaling groups. Then it is the duty of an ELB to direct the request to the most appropriate instance so that number of requests can be equally distributed across all the running instances. Remember that Elastic Load Balancing and Amazon EC2 Autoscaling are two different services, and they work together to ensure that your applications provide high performance and availability. Now let us have a quiz. Let us look at the questions. The first question is, which AWS service ensures that no single EC2 instance has to carry all the workload on its own? The options are EC2 Autoscaling, Elastic Load Balancer, Amazon EC2 instance, and none of the above. Second question is, which AWS service automatically removes the unneeded Amazon EC2 instances when the demand is low? The options are Elastic Load Balancer, EC2 instances, EC2 Autoscaling, and none of the above. Make sure to answer both the questions in the comment section below. Now, let us look at answers for the quiz we had in previous video. If you have not watched the previous video, you can watch it by clicking the I button above. The first question was, which Amazon EC2 instance type is suitable for data warehousing applications? The first option was memory optimized. This is not the correct option, as memory optimized instances are designed to deliver fast performance for workloads that process large datasets in memory, such as high performance database or real-time processing of unstructured data. The next option was storage optimized. This is the correct option, as storage optimized instances are designed for workloads that require high sequential read and write access to large datasets and also deliver tens of thousands of low latency random IOPS, which is suitable for data warehousing applications. Next option was general purpose. This is not the correct option, as they provide a balance of compute, memory, and networking resources and are used for gaming servers, small databases, and backend servers. Next option was compute optimized. This is also not the correct option, as these are used for high performance web servers, compute intensive application servers, and dedicated gaming servers. So the right option is option B. The next question was, you have an application that will run for a total of 3 months and can withstand interruptions. What would be the most cost efficient Amazon EC2 pricing option? The first option was reserved instances. This is not the correct option, as reserved instances can be purchased for a 1 year or a 3-year term. It will run for 3 months, but it is not the most cost efficient option. The next option was spot instances. This is the correct option, as these are ideal for workloads with flexible start and end times, or that can withstand interruptions. It also offers cost savings of up to 90% on on-demand prices. The next option was dedicated instances. This is not the correct option, as these are physical servers that are fully dedicated to your use and are most expensive. The last option was on-demand instances. This is not the correct option, as these are ideal for short-term irregular workloads that cannot be interrupted. So the right option is option B. We will learn more about cloud computing in upcoming videos. Please subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.